you don't know about one of your favorite YouTubers. Gigi is not here yet. If Gigi Gorgeous comes in, we will, I don't know where she is. Maybe she's lost, but I know, boo. What if we got up and laughed? They're like, I just want to leave. Hannah Hart. Hannah recently traveled the country for her Hello Hart Tour, a traveling comedy show featuring fan meetups at food banks in multiple cities. She was recently in a discussion about millennial engagement with President Obama. And she also released her first feature film, you might have heard of it, Camp Dakota!
HannahHart.com/book.
Yes! Plug. And she has been featured in Time, Hollywood Reporter, Variety, and she makes occasional appearances on television, awkwardly. Fun fact about Hannah Hart, she says, I'm really bad at video games, ? I don't know, I'm really not that interesting. Hannah Hart! What's not to love about a bold, foul-mouthed blogger who films herself dancing in a watermelon bikini to make a point? Hartbeat, known as Hart, started watching YouTube videos in 2006 but did not start releasing videos until 2009. It was a rough year for her, which found her searching for a community as an opinionated person with viewpoints not commonly represented, including her body positivity and a perspective that even today isn't well represented. Thank you for being here, Hart. And her fun fact is, this is her first time ever on a panel, and she's very excited. And she never thought she would be on stage for anything ever, so this is special. So welcome to Hartbeat! Kingsley! Started on YouTube in July 2009. He says he's a goofball from Missouri who picked up a camera because he was bored out of his mind, and somehow that has led him to this crazy event called Vidcon. He enjoys spending his time drinking lemonade, wreaking havoc with his friends. Anything he can eat, he gets his hand... Oh, I read that wrong. Anything he can eat, he gets his hands on. Yes, and he drools over Big Sean, and he still doesn't know if butter is a carb. Fun fact about Kingsley, he has had 4 different channel names. Original channel name was XX King XX9, but changed to Kingsley Central. But then it's Kingsley Bitch, inspired by Britney Spears. And then I grew up, and now it's simply youtube.com/Kingsley. Tyler Oakley is a fugly slut, do not trust her. That's all. Still not true. Tyler Oakley is a YouTube star with over 4.5 million subscribers, not content with just making hilarious and charming videos.
Who hates me?
I don't know.
Most people. Hi.
Oh my God.
No. Talk amongst yourselves.
That's okay. Don't fix it, I'll just keep going. Tyler was recently honored where, for his 25th birthday, him and his people raised over $500,000. In New York City at the Trevor Live Gala where he won the Youth Innovator Award. Is that the first YouTube celebrity that ever responded to him was me, Michael Buckley, on MySpace picture from 2007, you will know it gets better. Troye Sivan. Blogger and recording artist from Australia with over 2 million subscribers. He came out to his friends and family at 15 and to his YouTube audience in August of last year. He started YouTube in August of 2007 at age 12. Fun fact about Troye, he is very, very passionate about lip balm. Miles, did I skip you? Oh my God, copy and paste failed. Oh Miles, I'm terribly sorry. You sent me a bio and I copy and paste failed it. Don't hate me.
No, you're fine.
I apologize. Please welcome the beautiful, the lovely Miles J. Miles, for those people who don't don't know you, please just give a few words about yourself so people know.
Okay, well,
What did you say to me? Just maybe 2 or 3 sentences when you started YouTube.
okay, well, I made a video a long time ago, some of you may know, back in 2011, it's called Like My Status. It blew up big, and I didn't know that was gonna happen, or else I would have made something different. Yeah, I really love being here, and thank you guys for coming.
What was your fun fact?
Oh, my fun fact is that I love Korean dramas, and
Did you see Coffee Prince?
yes, I love Coffee Prince.
I love Coffee Prince.
Yeah, so that's what I spend my life doing.
You're in the Korean drama panel, the gay panel down the hall. So this is obviously an amazing panel, and I, start thinking of questions. I thought before we could talk about being, LGBTQ on YouTube, which is a conversation I want us all to have and how it impacts their lives and your lives, of course. I thought we could just kind of talk about growing up and kind of so who growing up, who had an easy childhood, it was fine. I knew I accepted myself and it was pretty smooth. Any of you guys have pretty smooth? Troy, so when did you know and how did you become fine with it at an early age?
I think I always knew that something was a little bit different.
Gigi! Yeah!
Me or having 5 minutes left to start. This is a textbook.
Gigi Gorgeous has been on YouTube for 5 years as a beauty expert doing hair and makeup tutorials and reviews, but this past year she has transitioned from male to female. Her channel balanced with beauty and LGBTQ topics, and she has over 800,000 subscribers. Fun fact about Gigi is that she enjoys eating McDonald's 3 times a week. So we were talking about, Troy, please continue about how you knew and
So I always knew that, I think I always knew that I liked dudes. But I think it was kind of when I was maybe 14 that I thought it was maybe time to kind of have the discussion with myself. And I distinctly remember saying it to myself in the mirror. I was like, Troy, dude, I think you're gay. Dude. Yeah, no, so I mean, from there I actually turned to YouTube mostly and started watching coming out videos, and they helped me enormously. And then from there, it was about just kind of, I always kind of knew that my family was going to be okay with it. I'm very, very, very lucky and blessed to have the family and friends that I have. So then it was just about kind of finding the perfect moment where I felt I was ready, and it was just, yeah, it just kind of progressed from there. I started with my parents, my friends, my brothers and sisters, and then kind of pretty much within a couple of months, I felt like everyone who actually mattered to me knew, and then it just wasn't a big deal anymore. Then I felt like I was ready to tell the world, basically.
Yeah. Miles, so in growing up too, how was your experience growing up?
Mine, I feel like I always knew in the back of my mind, it was always there. I really loved, whenever we played dress up and stuff like house, I'd always be the mom, and I didn't so it was fairly obvious for me when I would get up on stage in a dress. I just loved the feeling and the attention.
But as a young person, were you okay with it, or did you try and squelch it? And were you always comfortable with yourself?
There was definitely times where I tried to push it down or hide it and stuff when I was around certain people. Sometimes because it made other people feel uncomfortable, and that made me I liked them, and it made me feel like I shouldn't be that way. So there was definitely times where I didn't want to be myself, but in the end I learned that it's always important to be true to who you are, because if you're not going to do that, then why are you here?
And I think But I don't think it's universal to LGBT. I think straight people, when you're young, you don't want to be yourself. You look in the mirror, and so we're all, it's a difficult time. Mm-hmm. So I mean, you guys, Tyler, Hannah, growing up, was it difficult? What was your experience like as a young person and a young teenager?
I grew up in a very repressive environment. My dad was a preacher. My mom didn't like it, One of those stories. So, with all that kind of instilled a really deeply seated homophobia in me, and so, you know, once I gave up really using them to value myself, then the battle, or then the challenge to overcome next was talking to myself and being like, it's okay that you're gay. I repressed my homosexuality for a long time, until I was like 20.
Oh my God.
Yeah, seriously, super closeted. Wow. Like,
Did you date men though?
Oh my God.
Did you date boys seriously and try make the try? No.
I dated all my friends, I dated the hot guys, I dated people for like 2 months, and I was like, something is not right. Oh well. And it was always like glittering through the back of my mind. It was like, okay, bitch.
Tyler, growing up, did you ever date girls or make go out in middle school? Serious question.
I did date girls.
Yeah, up until
2 of them now are lesbians. They,
2 of them are now lumberjacks.
but back then we were all closeted, and then I ran into one of my ex-girlfriends at a gay bar, and I was like, "Oh my God, let me introduce you to my boyfriend." And she's like, "Oh my God, let me introduce you to my girlfriend." But I came out when I was, I guess, 12 to my parents, and then 14 to everyone.
Who did you date before you were 12?
I was like a player. I don't know. I held a lot of hands. That's about it.
that's
what we called it. Yeah,
holding hands.
holding hands. But yeah, my parents were divorced, and so my mom and stepdad were really supportive, and they always were really cautious as to how they spoke to me. Like when they would lecture me, they would be like, "Your future partner," instead of like your wife or your girlfriend. They would always be very gender neutral and just like accepting of any possibility. Whereas my dad and stepmom were very conservative and religious. Not that those two things. Oh, girl. Not that those two things have anything to do with being homophobic, but sometimes that is a reason. They had that going for them. And so my dad, somebody at the church found my MySpace, sent it to my dad. That's how old I am. Sent it to my dad and said interested in men. And he's like, it was really bad for a moment because he had suggested, he said, we have enough money to fix it. You know, things like that. And so I was all like, okay, well, deuces. And I was lucky enough to have the support system of my other family to where I could just be like, okay, well, your problem with me is not my problem, it's your problem. You figure it out, and in the meantime, you're going to be missing out on this existence. So let me know. And it took years for them to come around, but in this past year, we've reimagined our relationship and figured it out, and we're still working through it. But I was really happy that I did say, no, it's unacceptable, goodbye, until you figure it out, because if I hadn't, I don't know if I would have, you know, had the relationship that I have now. So
Nice.
it is good now, but sometimes it takes a minute.
King, when did you come out to yourself, to others on YouTube?
I had a unique situation. My parents are actually lesbians, but I'm... grew up in Arkansas, which is very southern, very conservative, and we moved to St. Louis when I was 6. And I always had like an open line of communication, but because of the way everything was around me in Missouri, I still...
Okay, can you speak a little louder? I'm sorry.
Sorry. Because of how everything was, is that okay or am I yelling? Because of how everything was in Missouri, I wasn't really comfortable with myself, and I was in a school district from the time I was in kindergarten to 7th grade, and then in 8th grade I moved. And I'd always been like super animated. It was never anything I like had control over. I always like used my hands and like I liked Britney and just weird stuff like, was like normal to me just because that's what I liked and what I was. And when I moved, that was the first time I really experienced like bullying and being teased. And so I went through that, and like my entire high school experience, I was really like introverted, and like I was scared to be outlandish and how I really wanted to be because I was so scared of people judging me. And I didn't come out to my friends until my senior year of high school, and then I came out to my mom when I was in college, but it wasn't really a coming out. Like she knew already, because one time my parents were like super strict, and so they had control over my cell phone. I only had my cell phone when I went to school and when I went to work. And when I got home, I had to like charge it. No, there weren't dick pics. Fridays, and I was a host, and
I went to Arby's, it's fine.
Story. Gigi!
No, essentially this guy came into my work and he was flirting, and I had never had a guy flirt with me before, and I didn't know what was going on. I was like, what the hell is this? And his name was Willie, and he was from Detroit, and he was so cute. So, I got in the car after work and I told my mom, like, this guy hit on me, and it wasn't a thing. Like, I'd never talked about a guy before or a girl. I just literally said to her, this guy talked to me, he was cute, he gave me my number, and that was that. And like, that's how my situation happened. So, yeah.
Gigi, I mean, I've been watching you since you were Gregory so many years ago. I barely even, when I saw a picture of you, I was like, oh my God, I mean, you look so beautiful. But I mean, when did you realize you were, you know, trapped in the wrong body, and what was your, as a young person, what were your first thoughts when you?
It was like it's a journey for me. Like, well, let's just start off by saying gay and trans are so different. It's like a whole different ballpark.
Right. She really thought it would be a good idea, like next year, if we kind of do 2 different panels, because the conversation would be so much more. So hopefully we'll put that out to the universe, and they'll have a trans panel next year.
That's coming from a place, not like we need 2 different panels. Like, it's coming from a place of like, let's have these things both merit very in-depth discussion.
Absolutely.
You know, so and last year, I mean, it gets better every year. It's great.
So Gigi, please, so go back. When you were a child, what were your first thoughts of yourself when you looked in the mirror?
Well, when I was really young, like, you know, when you're like 2, 3 years old, you can't really control what you want to do and how you want to act and what you want to say. So I would just be really feminine and flamboyant. And then when I grew up, I kind of like put that to the back of the closet and just was like, oh yeah, I'm gay for a little bit, whatever. I like got my resources together, and it was what I could do for the time being. And then as I got older last year, I was like, wait, I really want to do this. I want to go through with the change, and I came out again.
Wow. And so, I mean, what was your reaction to the people in your life when you told them? Were they 100% supportive, or was anybody a little like, ooh, did you lose people along the way?
I didn't really, well, I wouldn't say that I lost people. It's just like, it's like a different conversation. It's like, it's weird because I was wearing makeup and looked very feminine already, so people were like, oh, well, we thought this was like 3 years ago. Like, what happened? Like, oh, are you drunk or whatever? You know? Like, no, yeah, I mean, I guess I did lose some friends, I guess, but that's more just like cleansing.
They lost you, exactly. What I love about you two, Gigi, when I go on your videos, I see you have thousands and thousands of likes, and maybe like 300. The ratio, so I mean, everyone is so supportive and kind, which I mean, the YouTube climate 06 to 09 was so much more hostile. Like if you posted a video, so when I go on your video and I'm like, oh my God, thank God, everybody loves her and no one's writing it. So anyway, it's nice.
Oh, there's still hate, girls.
I know. 90% of your comments seem wonderful and supportive. You're being quiet down there. Hart, tell us about you as a child growing up.
We're talking about yourself.
What was your experience like as a child?
But the first time someone ever told me that a girl could like a girl and a boy could like a boy, I was like, that's me. Introduced to the whole gay lifestyle back at like 12, really young, because my mom really wanted me to eat thick, okay? she was just, I don't know how to explain it, like she knew all of my life that I was different, but she just would not come to terms with it. Baby, here's a dress, wear the dress, please, like men. But then when 12 came around, I had like my first little lesbian experience, like a peck on the lips. You know, a little sleepover. Her name was Claudia. As soon as that happened, I knew that there was something different about me, but it still took me 2 years to just be like, you know what, I'm gonna come out. But when I came out, I didn't know that your family can be like, bitch, we don't like you anymore. I didn't know my family could be like, oh, we're gonna disown you or we're gonna kick you out. I didn't know that because my mom never talked about it. Keep it under wraps. I know you're gay, but please like men. Please, baby. But yeah, when I came out, I just did it. And ever since 15, it's just been great. Yeah, like just continuing to be myself nonstop. It's been dope.
That's the best thing. All of their experience is, and you guys will know, I mean, once you start living fully as yourself, it might be a little bump in the road, but life is so much better and so much easier because it's so hard to like pretend to be who you're not. In terms of like role models, do you remember like the first gay person? Because I mean, the thing is, you guys are role models. You're, for many people all over the world, you're the first LGBTQ person they will ever see, and that's very important. I can't stress that enough because when I was growing up, there was nobody on TV, there was no one to look at as a role model. So I'm just curious, who was the first gay person you or trans person you were aware of, and it was like, oh, I like them. That's kind of, anybody can answer this. That's me. I'm like that. I appreciate seeing them being themselves. Anybody remember childhood role models or first impressions?
I would have to say Sailor Uranus and Sailor Neptune. They were two superheroes from Sailor Moon, and I loved that show, so they were the best.
And they were cousins. See, here's the thing.
They were
right?
cousins.
America and the dumb, like they were like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But you could see it.
You just knew, and like as a kid, I was like, yeah, cousins. That's gross. These cousins are like, how is incest better than gay?
Yeah.
We'll talk about incest. It'll be a real page turner. Anybody else, Hannah, who was the first you were aware of?
For like in terms of role models?
Yeah, or just...
You know, honestly, public figures aside...
An aunt, a friend, anybody.
Honestly, friends.
Yeah.
Like people I know who I'm like either like are currently still going through their coming out process, or people I've heard their story at the end of the line, because it's like those bumps in the road when you come out can include losing family members and losing friendships, and it can take years and years and years while still like coming to terms with it yourself. So it's like every time I see someone who has their beautiful marriage and their home and their life now, but have gone through that and just kept going, that person is the biggest role model for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Anybody else know that?
Yeah, I wouldn't say like when I was younger, but recently, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the show Orange is the New Black.
Yeah.
Actress on it named Laverne Cox, and I recently just met her, and I am blown away. She's like my idol. I think she's a transgender icon, because now it's just starting to be like, I don't know if it's the right word, but like cool to be transgender kind of thing, because like gay had the little time, and now it's like trans. I think that she's killing it, and I totally look up to her, and I'm obsessed with Laverne Cox. So.
And she was on the cover of Time magazine.
Yeah.
What was the title of the cover? Is the transgender
Tipping Point.
Tipping Point. That wasn't the transgender agenda. Isn't that amazing? Because it was like the gay agenda was a big thing for a long time. It's like the transgender tipping point, and I feel like even that is so much more of an unbiased statement. You know?
Yeah.
In terms of I want to just kind of segue into role model talk, because you are role models. It's funny because I always talk to people about this, because there's like Taylor Swift versus Rihanna. Like Taylor Swift is like, I'm a role model, I take that very seriously. I'm a celebrity, I'm a role model. They take it seriously. Whereas Rihanna is like, I'm a singer, I can give two shits, I'm a drunk, and I'm smoking pot. And she doesn't want to be a role model. I mean, the question to you is, is that something that you think of when you're posting pictures on Instagram, or I'm a role model to people, or I'm a content creator, I'm not that worried about it? I'm just curious here, because I've had lots of thoughts about that. So.
I was naked.
Being fully yourself.
Oh, okay.
But that was fun, and you were making a point. That's not what I was really talking
If you
about.
guys just want to get naked and dance in the mirror with watermelon, I'm so down.
Tyler, you're such a role model to so many young people. Do you ever think about things like that? Like, I want their opinion of me to be very high, or are you not that worried about it?
I think at the beginning you don't really want to pay attention to that, because you take it personally if you mess up or do something bad. But when people educate you, then you start to realize that you do have a platform for influencing people positively. And so the more you see the impact that you can have, the better you want to be, and the more educated and more, I guess, controlling of the power that you have, that you can be. Does that even, did I?
It makes sense.
You know what I mean? It's like you want to be responsible.
You don't sign up for that, but once you become aware of it, you're,
When I made my YouTube channel, it was literally just to keep in touch with friends from high school. I just told stories and spoke directly to other humans. And then as it grew, you started to realize, okay, well, there are people watching. And then as that grew, you started to realize that there's impressionable people watching. And like I think the more you realize about the impact that you can have, the more you should want to use that for good.
Troy, do you have something? Troy's looking at you.
No, I think probably like the responsibility that I feel the most is like, I think it's really, really cool that I have the opportunity to kind of like, to mess up in front of everyone. And that's a lot of pressure, but at the same time, I think it's the opportunity to show like growth is so cool and important. Everyone makes mistakes, everyone's gonna stuff up and stuff like that. And I think it just shows that everyone's just a human and stuff, but you know, then to be able to show that growth is really, really important. And as well for me, I think, like, for me, I think it's really cool that we can all kind of, we can make LGBTQ videos, but then we can also just kind of make normal videos and show that we're all just like normal people. And I didn't have any gay people around me like in real life growing up. So then to turn to the internet and see, okay, cool, so these people had to do this thing called coming out. But wait, there they are just like hanging out with their mates and they're living a happy life and they're all like cool and normal and I want to be friends with them. That for me was so like powerful and important, and I think that's a cool part of being a role model is you can just by like living and accepting yourself, and like I think that spreads a cool and good message.
Yeah, I definitely would say that like nobody should feel obligated to be a role model. Like if that's not your jam, don't be a role model. If it is your jam, be a role model. Like it's just about being authentic. I think that, as Troye said, the more yourself and unabashedly proud and happy you are, the better, you know?
I have a comment. The other day, I got not a fight, but a Twitter, somebody, Will and RJ, if they know, somebody insulted me. Someone insulted me because they kind of said that I need to be making more gay videos and I need to talk about causes and I'm like, oh my God. And like what Troy just said, I'm gay, clearly. I've been married for 13 years. Everybody knows this. I'm not going to go on YouTube every day. I'm just myself every day. What do you want from me? You know, so let's kind of transition and talk about YouTube as a platform because let's just kind of go down the line, starting with you, Hart. You know, when did you start posting? Why did you start? Let's go down the line fast. What year did you start making videos? When did you start?
2009.
When did you start making videos?
2008.
2009.
2009.
2007?
7.
11.
I started in summer of 06.
Yeah.
From the 1970s, hashtag literally. In terms of like, why did you start and what were some early responses? Like when you uploaded Tyler to keep in touch with friends, but like Troy, was it a music song? What made you post a video and what were the first responses you remember?
Yeah, I saw somebody replying to comments on a video that was featured on the homepage, and I was like, oh, I sing, can I like make a video response? And she told me to do so, so I did it, and then I got like 100 views. So
100, yeah.
Miles, what was the first video you made? What was your video, and what was the reaction to you right away? Were people like, oh God, you're so funny, your bitch is whack? You know, what was the response?
A little bit of both. Yeah. I made a video called Wannabe. That's my first video that you can find on my channel. It's me singing to the Spice Girls in a Viking hat. And so I think I busted out into the scene in the right way. So no regrets, no looking back. And I think everybody loved it. They lived for it, and that's why I'm still here.
So that right away. Yeah, what were your first comments from people? Were they like "shit girl" or were they like "you go girl"? Like
no, actually, like my first video that got big was me. Do you guys remember when Kanye West got on stage?
Oh,
yeah. I was like, oh my God, Kanye, you're such an ass. And like I swear, the most ratchetest people were watching that video, and they were calling me the craziest things. They were like rap bands, and they're like, "What's this fag? Like, what are you doing?" Yeah, it's very tragic.
Yeah.
But I got over it, but I started because I wanted to find people who liked I watched like a bunch of ratchet VH1 reality shows. And no one at my school did, so I did
recaps of those shows.
Yeah. So that's how that happened.
I remember. So I mean, like Gigi or you know Hart. I know Hart. You wrote to me. You said, because I was wondering, you must have had some negative feedback right away, because you wrote to me. You said, "I'm lesbian. I'm black. I'm plus size. I swear a lot. My smile is the best crooked one ever." And I mean, honestly, what motivated people? A lesbian, you get attacked for your appearance. I'm just asking you, what do people say to you, and how did you internalize any of it?
Yeah, the 5 things that people love to hate on me on. I'm black, I'm gay, I'm big, I've got messed up teeth. That's all I did. They'll be like, "Oh, you fat." Okay. "Oh, you look like a dude." Alright. You mad?
Did you internalize comments though? Did you read them, and did it have any effect on yourself? Like, were you like calling your family, or were people like, "Oh my God, they wrote," did it, the derogatory things people wrote?
Because you know how people get super extravagant in how much they hate you? Like, "You are so black. I wish that you would just cremate yourself."
What were people writing to you in the comment section when they first saw you?
I mean, I just started out doing beauty videos because I'm like obsessed with makeup. Still am 6 years later. And like my YouTube was just kind of like my video diary. Cause I'd like sing in the mirror, do like little music videos, and just kind of like film that, put that up. So people probably just said like, "Oh, this kid's out of his mind." Whatever.
Yeah. It's interesting because a lot of you, when you start on YouTube, you start as a hobby and it becomes your life and your career. So I wonder, like, I'm always curious with YouTubers, like, how much of YouTube is your actual life, and do you have a personal life that we know nothing about? Because I always think in a way you should, because it's like if you give it all to everybody, then there's not much left for yourself. So I'm just kind of wondering who's living a complete my whole life on YouTube, and who's kind of like, "Oh, I keep a lot to myself."
I keep a lot to myself.
Yeah.
Well, I'm actually straight. So.
They want your money, the agenda. So we're all pretty fine. You're not like daily vloggers or whatever, but so I'm just interested. That's an interesting conversation. Have any of you ever like burned out on YouTube and had to take time off? And like, what's the longest time you've ever gone not uploading a video? That's interesting for everybody. You raised your hand, Hart. Did you ever take a long time off?
When you think about it like that, a long time to me is like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
That's for a YouTuber.
That's a long time.
Yeah. But no, there was a time where things got way too hectic and I had to step away from the YouTube scene because my life was just going in a downward spiral. Got kicked out, had to find another job, had to do all this extra stuff. All this is happening while I'm still doing videos. But then once I got the opportunity to move right back into my mama house, I said, "We're gonna do this. We're gonna do it hard up the twat."
Anybody else? Tyler, what's the longest you've probably ever gone?
There was a month in 2009. Yeah, I think I took a minute off.
Yeah.
That was it. Yeah, no, I don't think I do that.
Do you have any videos that you regret, or that the moment that you became internet famous that you went and privated, unlisted, deleted? Kingsley, please jump in.
Oh, God.
Well, you're laughing.
I had so many, but there's one in particular where I was singing "Happy Birthday" to Joe Jonas, and like, it was 6 minutes of just me being a complete and utter idiot, and I had like this T-shirt on my head, and I was just like flipping my "Happy Birthday, Joe."
What year was it?
This was like 2009, but every year it was on YouTube. Like every year his birthday, it came back.
Anybody else have regrets or a video that you deleted, privated, and it was embarrassing, or you feel like you needed to apologize for?
When Beyonce was having her baby Ivy, Blue Ivy, I made a video where I was giving birth. Off of what was that song that goes? Oh, you belong to me. I'll only be with you. That one, whichever one that was. Like I made countdown. It was like this baby coming 5. I'm just like. yeah, it was pretty intense, and I was like, you know what? This is whack. I'm just. Yeah, I did. It's gone.
I have hundreds of videos privated, and so yes. The only time I ever regretted something was when Anna Nicole Smith died in 2007. I made a very distasteful video. I just didn't understand what was funny and what was not, and she was literally dead 2 seconds. And I thought, oh, I'm jumping on it. It's pop culture. I'm going to go on it, and it was very distasteful. And I instantly was like, oh, I can't. I felt bad. It was like the only time in all these years that I'm like, normally I'm like, I don't care. But I just want to talk about language for. I know this is a topic that I've been dying to talk about, and especially because you guys, you ladies are here, and it's a hot button issue in our community, the use of the word tranny. It's been in a lot of blogs, it's been in do you guys know how we're not supposed to say that word anymore? And there was on the logo show, RuPaul's Drag Race, there was, you got girl, she-male, when they get male and they're not saying that anymore, and so.
They took it off.
Anyway, so I just was wondering, Miles, do you have you would like to talk or say, what is your opinion on this? The use of the word.
The use of the word, I really don't think it should be, this slur should be used. I feel like there was a lot of controversy between the way RuPaul explained why he uses the word, and then Carmen Carrera saying that you shouldn't use the word. Carmen Carrera is a model who used to be on RuPaul's Drag Race, and she's now trans. And so...
And gorgeous.
And gorgeous, yes, and
Stunning.
successful. And yeah, RuPaul was saying that, that he uses the word, I can't remember the article exactly, but that, what's the word I'm looking for? That people who feel sensitive or feel like they shouldn't retract the word should, are like being too sensitive and stuff like that, and that they're like fringe people and stuff like that, and all this other negative stuff. And then when Carmen Carrera came back and said, you know, you really shouldn't be using this word, it is offensive, it is derogatory, you know, all of this other stuff, people just started commenting all this negative, disgusting crap. And I feel like in the comments right there, you can see the evidence of why it shouldn't have been used.
Are you talking about she-male or tranny?
Tranny, the use of the word tranny. Like,
okay. Yeah, I think that's rude, 1,000%. Unless it's like you're best friends with someone, like, oh girl, you look like a tranny, whatever. Like then it might be funny. It might be funny. It's like the word fag.
Yes, and
like
saying the N-word, like you're like, I could be like, oh, you can call me, you know, a nigga. You can say that to me, but if she tried to say that to everybody else, and that would be like a problem.
It's still low-key me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hannah, please.
I just think what you do, like in the privacy of your own, like friends and homes and circles and groups, like that's entirely up to you. But this is where it comes to like social responsibility and stuff. It's like you might not want to be a role model, but you do have to be like keep yourself aware of these things. Like my little sister loves Tumblr and I love Tumblr, but she's really like a social like activist, social justice kind of kid. And she puts me in check all the time, and it's good though. Like at first I was like, I can't know everything, and it's like, well, you know what? If my life is being a public figure, then that's part of my job, period.
The reason I feel the same way as Anna is I remember Oprah and Gail, who were everything, were talking one time and they asked if they used the N-word, and they said, if I'm in the privacy of my own home with Gail on the couch, but you would never hear Oprah say the N-word at all. And honestly, like I sit at home with my husband and I'll do something, he'll be like, why are you being such a little faggot? And I start laughing so hard. That word, I just said it, I don't say it in my videos, I never use that word in public, I never use it even really in private, but my husband saying it to me made me laugh. So, you know, you have to just kind of know your settings, but
exactly, and I think that's something, you know, what you guys can take away, even if you're not, you know, having the life of a public figure, is just that don't use words that are intended to hurt amongst people that you don't know and have no relationship with. Like, just don't do it. You know,
you're not gonna win. You're not gonna win. You're not gonna win.
And call people out, by the way.
Yeah.
Call people out.
I feel like years and years ago, the T word was something that I didn't even know was offensive. It was being said, I remember very distinctly in reality shows. It was like a catchphrase half the time. And
the guy in Project Runway, fierce tranny, that was, he used it as an adjective.
And so I didn't even know that. And so it takes people calling me out. It takes people telling me that that's wrong for me to learn. And I would much rather be told that, learn from it, apologize, say I fucked up, and hopefully use my platform to show people, okay, this guy can fuck up, but also learn and grow and try to do something better. So can somebody without an influence or without a platform. And I just feel like it's not my place to tell people what they can and can't be offended by. If it offends them, why do I feel like I need the right to say it? Like, it's so easy to pluck that from my vocabulary that I just should not, I mean, it's not my place to feel like I need to be able to say it. If it's gonna hurt somebody, I don't want to do it. I feel like there's a lot of people that would argue about censorship and all that, like what's appropriate for comedy, and comedy should be able to do whatever and blah, blah, blah. But I know from my own personal standpoint, I would much rather just elevate my comedy so that I don't have to, so that it won't offend the people that are already being marginalized and told that they're different and told that they're other. And if they're already being told and discriminated against, then that's not who comedy should be attacking. Yeah, I don't think.
It should be attacking Kim Kardashian. It doesn't matter. I have a couple of final questions for you guys before we take the, so starting about good questions. But in terms, I want to go down the line, just fun, quick. What's your favorite thing about YouTube? What's your least favorite thing about YouTube? Go. Favorite thing, least favorite, go.
I don't like this on the spot stuff.
Anna, go this way. What's your favorite thing about YouTube? What's your least favorite thing?
My favorite thing about YouTube is you guys.
Just don't say that though.
I just say same. Good. Your least favorite thing? You love it all. You got probably don't want to say it out loud.
I got nothing.
Joy, what's your favorite thing?
Scheduling on time.
Favorite thing is the same.
Oh, no, I was starting to think we all said the same answer.
We all like you. Something else.
Yeah.
Something.
Okay. Getting to meet friends through YouTube.
Your great,
Oh,
great
that's
friends.
the one.
What's your least favorite part? What's like, I wish this
Least
was a little
favorite part is
different.
when it gives a platform to dumb people.
Tyler, favorite thing?
Favorite thing is traveling the world and just expanding who I am and like learning new perspectives.
And least favorite thing?
Least favorite thing, dating's hard.
I'm sure. I would never leave my house. Kate, favorite thing? If I were you, I would never date.
I don't leave my house.
Favorite thing?
My favorite thing is, like Hannah said, coming to these things and seeing people in person. And then my least favorite thing, I don't chlamydia.
Dating's hard.
For you catch it. Keep it real.
My most favorite.
What's the best part of YouTube for you?
Best part of YouTube is like being able to post whatever I want, having creative freedom for my content.
Yeah. It's not TV. They don't tell you what to say or do.
Exactly. And least favorite would be the balls that people grow online. It gives them the balls that they need to say really mean things that they wouldn't say in real life. So that's my least favorite.
And we got balls to call them out on it.
Yeah.
Miles' favorite, least
My
favorite.
most favorite thing is the wig sponsorship. No, my most favorite thing is getting artwork from you guys and seeing all you guys' creative stuff. It's so amazing. I love it. And my least favorite thing would have to be that one thing that smashes an egg.
How to base it.
My favorite thing.
Oh, I love it.
My favorite thing is the fact that just this small group of people can bring this amount of people together in a room. Least favorite thing, we need more black people.
I agree.
We need more black people on YouTube, like for real.
I would like to just ask you guys just two quick questions. For anyone in the crowd who might be struggling with their own identity, what would you like to say to them? Is there any words of advice or encouragement? Because I'm sure people are. Anybody just want to what's your wish for them? Just any thoughts? Any words of just encouragement for everybody in the crowd?
It's okay to feel scared right now. It's scary, and that's okay. And you'll be fine.
I think I've done a lot of these panels with Hannah and Tyler, and it always comes down to us saying to just be yourself when it's safe, when you feel comfortable, and that's pretty much all there is to it. There's people somewhere in the world who are going to love you. That's important as well. So.
I would say, I just had it on the tip of my tongue. I was thinking about what you said.
Being safe?
Yeah, being safe, but I think reaching out for help is one of the bravest things you can do. And whether it's to your friends or your family or anonymously, if you reach out to the Trevor Project, they will listen, they will be here for you. It's free, it's confidential, trevorproject.org. And I don't get anything from it. But just reaching out for help is brave. Being yourself is brave. But also knowing when it's appropriate or safe to come out is also brave. There's no shame in waiting for you to be safe when you are yourself. You know what I mean? It's a lot of people praise coming out immediately. But there's also
like, hurry up.
It's brave to wait for it to be okay. You know what I mean? That's all.
That's good. And thank you to our straight friends who are here. We couldn't do it without you. So long, and I have a million more things I wanted to talk to them about. But are there questions from the crowd? Let's run over the microphone.